Hello everyone and welcome to this video. My name is Hayden Davidson, aka How to Amazon, new YouTube name. And in this video I want to show you a tutorial of Keepa. So I've got a few products that I've got ready and waiting to analyse with you today, and I thought we'd have a few variations. So I've got like Hellman's, I've got Weetabix, and I've got a brand called Lint Bells, which could be a private brand. Now, without further ado, let's go into it. So we're ignoring all this sort of Bible Pro stuff. What we're focusing on, by the way, is the Keepa graph. Now, just to let you know, you don't have to buy a Keepa subscription if you've got Bible Pro. They do have their own graphs. However, for this video, I'm telling you exactly how to read a Keepa graph specifically. Therefore, I thought it was obviously only fair that I use the actual Keepa graph for this one. So, let's dive in. Now, the first thing I want to analyse with you today is the sales rank. Now, this is starting from the bottom, starting right from the bottom. We're going to go right from the bottom. We're going to go all the way through down to analysing the sales rank, analysing the third-party sellers, the new sellers, the amount of people on the listing, etc. We're going to go into the whole thing. So, get yourself a cup of tea, get yourself a coffee, get yourself some food, snacks, whatever you need to do. Stop watching cat videos and all that sort of stuff. And just, if you want to learn this stuff, just please pay attention. Give this a few minutes, pay attention, because once you've mastered this, you've mastered a massive part of selling on Amazon. So without further ado, let's dive in. So on the right here, the first thing I want to point out, on the right here, the bottom of every single graph, you'll have all. And the all down here means how many days in the entirety of this listing that this listing has been live. Every single day. And that's quite important. Now, why is that important? The reason that's important is because the more data that you've got, the more particular that you can be analysing every single product. The more data you have, the more evidence you have to make your buying decisions. Looking at a year. You can look at a year. And I don't like buying stuff that's got any less than a year. You can buy stuff, and I do buy items that have got less than a year, way less than a year. But in order to make a proper decision which is less risky, there's always risk, but what's less risky is having at least a year's data so that you can analyse trends. You want to analyse the price, the sales rank, the amount of sellers on the listing, the trends, different times of the year, seasonal products, non-seasonal products. You want to analyse all these different things. So you need at least a year, ideally, but you can do it with less. Ideally, you want 3,000 days, 4, 5, 6,000 days, because then you've got a true representation, unless something big happens, of what's going to happen with that item in all different circumstances. Now that's a bit more advanced, so let's go into the detailed step-by-step reading a Keepa graph. So looking closer into this, let's look at the sales rank to start with. Now the sales rank here, what you can actually do is turn off all the other stuff so that we're just focusing on the sales rank here. This is the sales rank, okay? And the sales rank is indicating how many sales, the velocity of the sales that that particular product is getting. Now, the higher the rank, as you can see, the current rank is 56,000 in the black there, it's 970. And you can actually hover over the rank here, and it will show you, it will go up in thousands, and it will show you the different ranks that has been on the Keepa graph. Now, you may or may not know that the higher the rank, the slower the item is selling. So as you can see, the rank is much higher here. We've got large drops here. We've gone all the way up to 113,000, all the way up to 108,000, all the way up to 118,000. These are large drops. And what this section indicates here, from November to March, is that this slowed down in sales significantly in this time period. It's very common for this product to go over 100,000. This gives us a good indication that before November, for some reason, this product was selling faster. If we look here, 35,000. Top of that is obviously 90,000, which is still less. The top here is 67,000. 80,000, 84,000, 57,000, 69,000. What we're seeing here is much lower sales ranks consistently. So the aim of the game is to have as low as rank as possible. That's when you're going to get the speed in the sales, when you have the lower the sales rank. Doesn't mean, look, I sell a lot of items that are high sales rank consistently like this or this. That doesn't matter. The actual rank doesn't matter. What matters is the consistency in the sales and the number of sellers in the competition, etc. But we're going to go into that later. For the example of this, the lower the sales rank, as you can see here, the faster the sales. So this will be selling a lot faster if we zoom in here. You can see the consistency in the drops there, right? But if we zoom into this area now, look at the inconsistency of the drops there in the same reasonable time span. There's less drops and the rank is higher. That means that it's now selling, from November onwards, it's selling a lot slower than it was from November all the way to May in the past, okay? Much slower. So that gives you a good idea of the sales rank. Let's look at the sales rank in some other examples I've got here. So we've got the year there. The first thing we notice in this listing here, the sales ranks are different in every category, so you need to do your own due diligence. And it's not actually about the sales rank, but this is giving you a good indication about the drops in the Keepa graph, just to keep this an example for newbies. The sales rank here is consistently over 300,000, right? But the reason for that, you can see that there's no stock here. There's no sellers on this list. I mean, we're not going to go into that now. For the example's sake, if the sales rank is going up like this, if the sales rank is almost flat like this, or if it's going up like this, that indicates no sales. Could be a slight sale there, but apart from that, this has been really dead from May all the way over to September. If we zoom in just past September here, all of a sudden goes from 315,000 down to 61,000. That indicates minimum one, but probably quite a few sales have started to come in. I'd say at least 10 to 20, 30 sales have come in there. And consistently over time, we're now getting sales here. Okay? You see the rank is dropping. Yeah? We zoom in here. Drop. One drop does not mean a sale. It could mean multiple sales. And in my experience, it could be anything between 1 and 20 to 30 sales per drop. In some situations, it could be 1. But I would say it's quite rare. It could be 1 to 2, or it could be 1 to 20 or 30, depending on the sales rank. You have no idea how many sales per drop is. But all you know is that if it's dropping in sales rank, then that means there's some sort of action happening on that graph. This means that it went from December the 1st to the 2nd of January with no sales. Up, drop, bam, we're back. We're back in business. Sales are starting to happen, okay? Let's look at another example here. I hope this has helped. This is an in-depth analysis of a Keepa graph. We're not holding anything back here. Now, this is a bit more confusing because you've got the Amazon are in stock here, so let's get rid of them. And this is what looks like to me a very consistent sales rank. Look at this. Firstly, notice that we're in the hundreds, not the thousands for the sales rank, so it's very good, especially for this category. It's a very, very, very good sales rank. Drop. Even though it's climbing slightly here, the sales rank, generally it's dropping really fast there. It's climbing slightly here, but because the rank is still so low, it's not even over 300. Because it's so low, it still doesn't matter. Even though it could be getting a few less sales, the sales in this graph are in the hundreds every single month. Hundreds, probably the thousands. So even though it's climbing here, it doesn't really matter. Because the consistency of this graph in general is generally below 300. So it's just fast. Here, it's got ever so slightly higher here. So it is losing momentum slightly here. That's why I would look at the year. and see, is there a trend here? Now you can see there's a slight trend that it's losing sales, ever so slightly. So that's something to watch. But generally it's always going to be a fast seller, unless something significant happens. What happened here, you might be wondering? For a few reasons, this was going from over 1,000 sales rank, which is fine, dropping slightly down, but generally about 1,000 sales rank. All of a sudden, overnight, it dropped from 1,000 something right down to 133. For some reason, this went absolutely mad. So this drop here means that they got huge amounts of sales. And then all of a sudden, sales, 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 sales. Okay? There we go. Sales, 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 sales. Okay, this is sale, sale, sale. Very, very, very good listing. Okay, but Amazon are on that, so I wouldn't be on that anyway. But that gives you a good example of the sales rank. Now, I hope that's helped as an in-detail view at the sales rank. Now let's move on to the price. Okay, so let's turn this back on. New, and by the way, you've got the toggles on the right here that you can look at. So let's run through them. You've got new, you've got sales rank, you've got list price, you've got new third-party FBM, third-party FBA, which I always have on. Buy box, okay? Now, I would recommend having the buy box on, the third party on, the new on, the sales rank on, and the Amazon on, and they will automatically be on generally when you're looking at your graph. So there's nothing too much to worry about. Let's look at the price. You can mess around with these toggles as much as you want, by the way, on there. So let's look at the price. Now, if you're selling FBA, then FBA is going to be the most important. If you're selling FBM, then obviously FBM is going to be really important to you as well. But to keep this example simple, I'm just going to focus on FBA. If you're FBM as well, you're going to have to alter that to your own stuff. So let's get into this. Now, although the sales rank is extremely important, because without the sales rank going down, you're not getting any sales. So it's extremely important. Let me just have a sip of water. Slurper, slurpy, slurp, slurp. This is the price. So this is the FBA price, which I always have on, because if you're selling FBA, then you need this FBA price. It's the orange one here. Okay. Now, let's read this in detail. Okay. Just like the sales rank, there's trends here. So look back. Look back here. If we look back at May, or the whole entirety of the listing, you can see the sales rank disappears here, by the way. That's for another video. But the price has been $7.99 here, $8.09 here, which is not FBM, it's not FBA, by the way. So that you know, that's for another video as well. But the price consistency, there was no FBA sellers here, but the price was $7.98, and that could be including or excluding delivery. We don't know. FBM here, $8.57, buy box. Okay, they've got the buy box. But the price here, which we're looking at for this part of the video, is about just over £8. Now, if we go in more detail for the last year, you can see that actually it was just over £8, then all of a sudden dropped down slightly to $7.20, $7.07, then did quite a big drop there in October, and now it's all the way down, going down to $4.90. Which is probably the lowest it's going to go. Price is important. When you're looking at the Keepa graph for your price, you need to have consistency somewhere, okay? So let's give you an example for this. If you were buying this for £1 and selling it for £4.90, you're only making 58p profit, as Buybot Pro says there, 13.4% ROI. That could be okay for some sellers, but for me, no, that's not okay, okay? So what I need to know is, what's the consistency behind this? I don't want to sell that for $4.90, right? What I want to do is sell that for at least £6. What would happen if we sold that for £6? Way better, 36% ROI, okay? Just from going up that tiny little bit. So I would want to sell that for £6. So if we came on the listing and the price was £6 and that was consistently at £6, all of this was 6 and all of this was more, that would look good. You can't predict what's going to happen, but that would look good. Because it's now at 490 and we don't know how long it's going to stay at 490 and the sales rank isn't very good, we could be stuck with that for a long time, okay? And the price, although it could recover eventually, it could take a long time to recover. If you bought that and wanted to sell it at 6, you'll be waiting a long time to sell that at 6. That's why it's important to, when you're looking at the price consistency, if, for example, let's pretend you want to sell that for £4.90, it could drop more, but it's unlikely that's going to drop more, okay? So if you were looking to sell it for £4.90, then I would be checking that there's consistency in this price here from this third party, by the way, which is what we're looking at here, third party sellers. And if it's more, that's fine. You want to look at all, make sure that the price that you want to sell the listing at has never gone below your minimum. If it has, you need to judge how long it was below, what was the reason it was below, what company was selling it for below. You need to look at a detailed analysis of this. And you need to be able to, I would say, make a tiny bit or at least break even for whatever is the worst price that was ever sold for in the history of this listing, or at least the last year. For example, if this had gone down to £2 and I wanted to sell it at £4.90, if it had gone down to £2 there, in case a seller pops on for £2 and has 10,000 items in stock, you need to cover yourself for that. So that's the price. You check the price. You've got statistics down here as well, by the way. So you can run over all of these statistics. You've got for the sales rank and then you've got the new price there, okay? Now, the new price is different to the FBA price, but we're not going to go into that right now because I don't want to overwhelm you. But the new price could be including or excluding delivery. I'm guessing it's excluding it, so it's not taking into effect FBA prime, okay? So you're looking at consistency in the sales rank, you're looking at third party, or you're looking at FBM, depending on what you're doing. FBA generally can command, usually, not always, usually at least £1 more or more price, possibly even more than £1, you could sell FBA items for over FBM. So you don't have to worry that FBM is necessarily cheaper than you. Not in all cases, but in some cases, okay. So that's the price. You're looking at the consistency in price. Moving on, let's look at the new off account graph, which is this one. Excuse me. The new off account here simply tells you how many sellers are on that listing at that time. So looking at November, we've got 20. Now we've got 22 later on in November. At the moment, it's currently 15. And in May, it was 2 and then 1 and then 2. And then if there's a gap, it means that there was no sellers for that whole time. So if we look at all, we can see that in July last year, only 1, 2 there consistently, 3 there consistently, 3 there consistently, 4. And then all of a sudden, wow, it shot up to 20. Why is this important? Few reasons. I've got other videos on this if you want to scroll down, but the first of all and the most important thing to me is to check that you're not going to be hit with an IP claim. So for example, if there was 20 sellers here, then all of a sudden they dropped off in 1 or 2 days or a week here, that could mean everyone was slapped with an IP violation, so I'd stay away from that. But I'm not going to go into that because I've got other videos on that. Go and have a look. I've got another video if you have a look at my other videos on that. This is mainly important to check the off account here, to check the saturation of the listing. So the more sellers you have, generally, the lower the price is going to go. You can see the trend here. In May, right, this was selling at $7.99 FBM, which means that prime, you could have sold it at $8.99 potentially, at least $8.49. Maybe even more. The price has started to go down to $7.39 there, $7.20, and as we just went over and passed, all the way down to $4.90. The reason for that is because this new off account, these are sellers jumping on, sellers jumping on, off, on, and now we're at an all-time high of 22 sellers. That's driven the price down to £5.90. It's driven it straight down. Supply and demand, it's driven it straight down. This is on the way down. If you see this number going down, it means that the sellers are dropping off. So this is important because you can see that it's saturated. If you came on here at this high point, right, you may or may not lose your investment. Okay. Now what's happening here is that most of these sellers are getting scared because the sales rank, now we've already gone over this, the sales rank is getting higher, which means the sales are much less than what they were at that price, which is strange because the price has gone down and the less sales have come. That's usually not the case. Usually it's more sales and the price goes down. So it's probably for other reasons, because we're coming out of the coronavirus at the moment, supermarkets are opening up, people feel more confident going out, etc. But generally the price goes down, which means the sales goes up. You've got a few options you can do here. The new offer's going up, which means that you could either, get rid of your stock and get out there quick, or you have to hold on to your price and wait for it to recover. There's different circumstances, okay? But the new offers dropping off like this means that this price should soon be going up. The reason it's not going up, this should be starting to go up now to around about 550. It should be on a normal listing. The reason it's not is because this listing is dying a horrific death because the supermarkets are opening and people feel more confident because of the coronavirus. It's a unique situation, but usually listings will recover if a sale's over. For example, they won't always recover, but if a sale's over, then they won't be able to get the supply and demand anymore. The sellers won't be able to get any more. Therefore, eventually the sellers should all start to drop off and the price should start to recover. Not always, but sometimes, okay? This is important to track because you don't want all of your products saturated because it means that you're going to have to wait months and months for all of your items to sell. For this listing to be okay and like a normal OA listing, which isn't a big deal sheet that it's going to be on, I would say it's normal to have about 8 to 9 sellers jump on, maybe even 11, and then the price could have stayed at around about 728 there, 740, and then it would recover even more in the future. Because they've all come on, there's been no other reason. Unfortunately, it's just down, 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 down. Okay, so this is an example of quite a bad listing. So I hope that video's helped. That's an in-detail Keepa graph. Keepa graph reading. I don't have any affiliate links or anything for Keepa, so this is a completely, just free video just to help you out. Check out my Facebook group below. Just come and say hi. I don't sell any courses or anything like that, but it'd be great to have you in the community. Come say hi. Got my social media links below, so come say hi, and I will see you in another video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you would be so kind, so that I know you're liking these videos. And I hope that's helped. For anyone looking to read a Keepa graph. I'll see you in the next video. This is Hayden, aka How to Amazon. Check it out.